Hey, what's up, world? It's Chris Strub here in Wichita, Kansas. It is 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern on Monday, and you know what that means. It is time for another edition of Chris Strub's Nonprofit Spotlight. Now, Chris, what are you doing here in Wichita? Well, today is day number 7 along the 10 or so, depending on how you count, day road to social. So if you've been following my stories over the last week or so, you've seen that I've traveled from Social Media Week Lima to here in Wichita, Kansas, where I'll be speaking Social Media Day Wichita on Wednesday, doing a 3-hour seminar for nonprofits. What's up, Ken? And I'll say what's up to everybody who's here in just a moment. Wednesday afternoon, I'll be doing a session on Instagram stories, Snapchat, all that fun stuff with an incredible lineup of social media speakers here coming from around the country. It's just unbelievable to be in that sort of company here at this event. And then Friday, Social Media Day Denver, again, another unbelievable lineup. I am so honored and so privileged to be part of these events this week. I also want to say quickly thank you to the folks here at the True by Hilton in Wichita. This is the 30th True by Hilton to open nationwide. It is the first one in the state of Kansas, and I am actually the first person to stay in, see, you thought I was going to say that I was the first person to live stream in all 50 states, but in fact, I am also now the first person to stay in this very room. Not going to tell you the number because that would be creepy, but I'll be the first person to stay in this room, in this hotel. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my special guest here, Melody Murphy. We're going to view your request. You guys are going to love Melody. She is just one of my favorite people. What's up, Ken? I cannot wait to see you again in just a few days, buddy. I am excited.
Hi.
Hey.
There she is, Melody Murphy.
It's so great to see you.
Thank you so much.
I'm hearing a big echo. Is there any way? Do you guys hear an echo, or is it just me?
Now, how's that? Is that better?
Are we better now? That's a million times better. Hello,
okay.
Melody Murphy. Melody, it's great to see you. So let's get right into it. Melody Murphy is the Director of Digital Engagement at the Metro United Way. She's coming up on her 6-year anniversary there, so congratulations in advance. She has a broad base of marketing experience with Northeast Christian Church, the Legal Aid Society, Freebird Marketing Group, Republic Bank, and she got her start, just like myself, at a local advertising agency, of course, down there in Louisville. She's a proud University of Louisville alum, L1C4, and proud supporter, and one of the kindest people that I've ever met. Melody Murphy, thank you so much for being here on the show, our fourth guest in our very first month. So glad that you're here. I want to get you started with this question, Melody. What inspired you with that wonderful base of experience that you have to join the nonprofit sector?
Well, thank you, Chris. I'm so glad to join. I'm so glad to join you here. You're one of my favorite people in the nonprofit space, and the work that you've done on behalf of nonprofits, being the social media guru that you are. But I think, starting out after I got out of college, I started out in bank marketing, and then, like you said, worked for a couple of advertising agencies. It was about the time that I started my family. And I think when you have kids, you realize that there's more to this world than making money for others. So I decided that I want to give back. So that's when I went to work for the Legal Aid Society, and then a few others, and now I'm at Metro United Way here in Louisville.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I want you to sort of give a little bit of background about the United Way in general. I'm sure a lot of our viewers here on Instagram don't necessarily fully understand the role of a United Way. It can be a little bit complicated. So how would you describe in layman's terms, what is the role that the Metro United Way plays in Louisville?
Well, we fight for the education, financial independence, and health of every person in our 7-county area. And we cover 4 counties in Kentucky, Jefferson, which Louisville is in, Shelby, Oldham, and Bullitt, and then 3 counties in southern Indiana, Clark, Floyd, and Harrison. And what that essentially means is we identify issues that are going on in our community, and we bring people together, bring organizations together to make sure that every person, every child, every family has what they need to live and achieve the fullest potential that they have.
Amazing, amazing. And so you mentioned the breadth and the width of the work that you guys do, the 7-county area. We call it Kentuckiana, which is a term that I learned when I moved down to Louisville. Also, it's Louisville, of course, not Louisville,
Louisville,
like
yes.
my old New Yorker self used to say. And so this is where the rubber hits the road. You guys have access to so many stories, through the United Way. There's so many different stories that can be told. So as the director of digital engagement, how do you decide, how do you evaluate, and how do you decide which stories the United Way is going to use its resources to try and share?
Well, that is a really good question, and one that we come up on every single day. And I think whether it's posting something on social media, or whether or not to go live with the video, or sharing a longer story, I think we ask ourselves, is this something that we would engage with? Is this something that I would share? And if the answer is no, we're not going to tell that story online, right? Because we want people to engage with it and learn more about the work we're doing. But certainly how we tell the stories too. So there might be a really important meeting going on here one day where we brought organizations together to solve an issue. The story isn't about the meeting. The story is about, we want to tell that story is about what's going to happen after that meeting, the kids or the families that are going to be impacted, and what's going to come out of that meeting itself. So how we tell the story is really important as to what we're saying.
Give me an example of a story that you would zoom in on. What immediately comes to mind when I say what story really sticks out in the mind of Melody Murphy with your work at the United Way?
Oh gosh, there's so many. There's a lot of projects that we do. One's called Books and Barbershops, where area barbers have decided that they want to help kids that are there in their barbershops getting haircuts with their parents to help them learn to read. So we have been able to place bookshelves with books in the barbershops to engage kids and their families to read. Another one is little free libraries all around our community where, especially in neighborhoods where families aren't close to a public library, we've put these little libraries in, and our volunteers have helped build them and put them in. And you can go and access a book, trade a book out, leave books. And that's been a really significant stories about guys that have actually hosted those libraries in their homes, volunteers that have built them. The Build-A-Bed project, I mean, I could go on and on, where we brought volunteers together to build beds for kids who are homeless in some of our school systems and don't have a bed of their own. There's all kinds of great stories.
And so, first of all, I'm glad you brought up books. So let's pause here for a moment and mention that today's show is sponsored by my book. This is called 50 States, 100 Days, the book. It's available now on Amazon. This is the story of my solo 50 States, 100 Days adventure in the summer of 2015 to work with nonprofits, again, in all 50 states. Actually, 3 years ago today, so June 25th, 2015, was the day that I flew to Anchorage, Alaska for the first time, and actually the first time I ever slept in the back seat of a car. So a lot of big memories going through my head here today. As we think back and think forward here with the Road to Social. I've actually got a second book here in my hand. And so this is a book called The Fun Formula by Joel Comm, who is one of the speakers that's going to be here in Wichita this week. I just read this on the plane the other day. And it's called The Fun Formula because Joel really tries to emphasize the importance of having fun with what you do. And Melody, one of the things that I really appreciate about you, and I haven't seen you in person, it's been way too long, first of all, so we need to fix that. But one of the things that I really appreciate about what you do and what the United Way does in Louisville is that it always looks like you guys are having fun. So talk about how you install sort of a fun culture at the Metro United Way, even though some of the stories that you work with can be kind of difficult to adapt in that fashion.
Well, we do have a lot of fun. I mean, we're doing some really serious work, obviously, but we do have a lot of fun, and we became one of Kentucky's best places to work in 2018 because of that. Yeah. But we have some great values for our staff, and you know, I know we're going to talk about live video, but some of the funnest, if that's a word, that we've had was during Giving Tuesday in November. We had each team do a kind of behind the scenes look at what they do. And we had some incredible outcomes of those, some great videos, some played games, some did a skit. Yeah. You know, that was just a lot of fun and gave our social audience an opportunity to see what the work that we do and the teams that do that.
Perfect, perfect. And yeah, right, as you mentioned, you guys have been an outstanding pioneer in the live streaming space as well. You can check out the Metro United Way Facebook page and see tons and tons of examples. I'm actually including one of your examples in my 3-hour seminar that I'm giving Wednesday morning here in Wichita, which is going to be so exciting to do. And I hope I get a chance to come do it in every city for every single person that's watching and listening. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, hit me up. But the question that I have here, and I apologize, I'm looking down because I don't have all my equipment because I'm on the road. Usually I have my little stand here. But what inspired you, Melody, to start using live video at the Metro United Way?
Well, we like to be, when something new comes along, just like IGTV this week, we like to try it out. We want to be innovators in that space if we can. So a couple of years ago, Facebook Live had been out for some time, and we were at a Father's Day event for one of our partner agencies called 2-Not-1, and we were having dads there in that neighborhood take a pledge, take an oath that they were going to be dads and support our community and be in their children's lives and give back to their community. And I thought this is a perfect example for our first live video. And since then we've done so many, but I think it was just after we clicked that first go live button, it was easier and easier to continue to feature live videos.
That's wonderful. And I just had another question and I kind of forgot what I was going to say. So I'm going to go to my next written down question, which is, what would your advice be for a nonprofit that is thinking of starting live streaming for the first time? So you're watching this, you're listening to this, you're a nonprofit, you have a Facebook page, of course, but you've never pressed that button. What advice would you give to someone to help encourage them to get them to take that action?
Well, I think just to be fearless, just to do it, just to press that go live button. And, if it's you yourself that's on that video, just be authentic. Authenticity, it gets engagement. If you're filming somebody else, just let them know, hey, this is a live video. If you stumble on your words, it's okay. Just keep talking. Right. The more authentic this is, I think the better a lot of times that the videos end up being.
Right. And I love that I'm stumbling a little bit, and I apologize because I am exhausted from hanging out with these guys, Damien, Brian Fanzo, Amanda Robinson, this week on the road to social. It has been awesome. We've been creating a ton of awesome content. We went go-karting the other day. We went to the fair in Indianapolis. It has just been a long week. So now I actually remember the question I was going to ask you a moment ago, which is something that it's a callback to our episode number 3 with Meridian Herman, which I know you saw last week, where I talked a little bit about the 99-1 rule, that 90% of people on social media, when they see a piece of content, they won't comment on it, they won't share it, they won't like it, but they will watch it. And I postulate that I think that the 99-1 rule is even more disjointed. It's even more incongruous with content that nonprofits are creating. So my question for you, Melody, is you've been involved with the creation of a lot of live stream videos, and you're also very involved in the community itself. Do you have people in Louisville come up to you and have conversations about things that they've seen on Facebook that maybe they didn't comment on, but they say, oh, I saw this on Facebook. Oh, I saw you guys did this, or I saw you were here or there?
All the time. It never fails. If somebody finds out that I work for Metro United Way and what I do, oh my goodness, I saw what you did on Facebook the other day. And I may not have known their name before that day, but it never fails. That happens. So there are, even though you might not get that like or that retweet or that comment, people are watching, and obviously the more people that do engage with videos, the more eyeballs those videos get in front of. But it never fails that people they are paying attention.
And this is the heart of it. This is the struggle. And we're going to wrap up here in a couple minutes, Melody. But when we met for the first time back in 2016, when I was working with Humana, I was fascinated. And I have sung the praises of the Metro United Way. I think you guys do a phenomenally good job of making database decisions and really evaluating what's working and honestly what isn't working at Metro United Way to drive your content strategies moving forward. So my two-part question would be, have you noticed that the data is showing you that live streaming is working for you? And secondly, how do you demonstrate and how do you sell to, let's say, your boss or to Teresa, that all of this effort that you guys are putting in to create this content is successful?
Well, we're lucky in that our new CEO, well, she's been with us over a year, so I don't know if I can still call her new, Teresa
Yeah.
Weber. She is social media savvy and really a leader when it comes to employee advocacy and sharing our content. And she will go live on Facebook on a whim, and she's amazing at it. But I will say that any live video that we share on Facebook, I mean, I would have to look at the numbers because there are so many videos that we have on our page, but I would say that 18 out of the top 20 viewed videos on our Facebook page will be live videos. There's no question that live videos get more engagement.
It's fantastic. Melody, I want to say thank you so much for being here. This is an honor and a privilege to chat with you. I really look up to and respect you for everything that you do in Louisville, the work that the United Way does, and I've had some additional involvement, through my work with Humana, of course. If you want to go back and see me kick off a wild and crazy fun day with Melody, you can dig back on my YouTube channel and see a Snapchat takeover that I did actually, and I remember exactly what day it was. It was the day after Election Day 2016. And I told my bosses, I was like, there's an election the night before. It's going to be kind of difficult to get people's attention. But that's part of the fun part of this too, right? With even live videos or even Snapchat content, those stories that we tell can last a lifetime. And if we can change even one person's life or help one person, whether it's someone in Louisville or someone in some other community, to learn more about what the United Way does through a chat like this, then I think we would both agree that this has been an incredibly productive conversation. Melody, I value your friendship very highly. I am so grateful to call you a friend, and I am so thankful that you took the time today to make this happen with me while I'm here out in the country, out here in Wichita. But thank you so much. Anything else you'd like to add today before we sign off?
Thank you. Anything I want to add?
Oh,
that follow us if you want to check us out.
There you go, at Metro United Way.
And I even did it backwards so it would appear correctly on live video.
Look at you. When I see, that's the sign of a real pro. Melody, I can't wait to see you. And quick announcement, I'll actually be back in Louisville next month. I will be in Louisville for a training. I don't know if it was announced today or not. It'll probably be announced tomorrow. I'll be back with the Community Foundation of Louisville, giving a little bit of a class on how nonprofits can use live streaming. So I sure hope that we will make a date to connect next month. And then, of course, I'll be back for Give for Good Louisville September 13th, which, of course, is another huge thing that Melody and the team at the Metro United Way are involved. How much did you guys raise last year at Give for Good Louisville?
Say that again. I've got some
traffic
going by.
How much did your team raise last year at Give for Good Louisville?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Good Louisville, last September. You guys. Okay, well, let's
I'm sorry.
There. It's okay. I'll look it up. I'll put the numbers in the comments.
Okay.
It was in the millions. Melody, I'll see you real soon. Thank you so much. And I don't know if you guys can still see or hear me. Again, we're working on a weird connection here, and it might be on my end here with the mic. I don't know if I got a little unplugged or something. So much about the Irish goodbye there on my part. We're going to wrap things up. Melody Murphy from the Metro United Way. Appreciate your time. Our viewers who are here, Lily, Alex, Rose is here. Ken was here, Bobby Shadow. I really appreciate you guys so much. Again, if you want to check out more about the Metro United Way, at Metro United Way across all their social media channels, go check out some of their Facebook Live videos. And if you're here in Wichita, you're here in Denver, I will see you along with the rest of the Road to Social squad on Wednesday, June 27th for social media. Hashtag Road to Social. I'll see you guys back here next Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern. I should be back in New York probably with a guest to be announced, so stay tuned. And thank you, Natasha. I will see you guys real soon. Stay tuned for more awesome Road to Social content. Ta-ta.